Oh, hello and welcome. We're on day number 3 and we're going to be talking about a diversionary shield. So it's another type of shield, and this one's really effective and really useful if there's if there's things that are attacking you that aren't personally attacking you, right? It's kind of like those robocallers or spam, to where like if you answer the spam, they know you're there, they know that's a valid email, they know, and they'll just start sending a whole bunch. It's kind of like that, to where it's great to like help not getting those kind of more random, it's not really random attacks. There's definitely reasons for all of it, and the more you clean yourself up, the less you're going to have to deal with this. So Freedom 2 safety course, which you're probably doing right now, is super critical. But anyway, this is like more random attacks versus you're actively sending something out to somebody, they're picking it up and they're actively sending it back to you. These are more kind of beings that are sending out attacks and seeing what lands, seeing what reaction happens. So having a shield up, it helps because it's not going to have as big a reaction as it's hitting you or hitting you personally. But diversion shields help to like kind of make it to where it's a non-issue, right? So it's what it is. It's kind of like you got your shield, and the diversionary shield, it's kind of like, almost think of like little orbs circling. This is not what happened, but it's like they're circling your shield, right? That, and then also there's like orbs that parallel you. They look like it's you, but they're away from you, and they're just deposited in places that looks like you but not you, right? So they kind of get a signature of, oh, what's that over there? And they send something to attack it, right? But it's attacking like a non-you, like a phantom you. You can also think of like chaff from planes, like the missile's coming and they shoot something out the back, and then the missile gets confused and goes into the chaff and blows up, you know, but it's nothing there. And it's the same thing with these like orbs. You send out these diversionary U's, so to speak. That's what the diversion shields are. And then if it goes and attacks it, it's kind of like doesn't get a reaction of like, oh, that's weird. You know, it's like, oh, I didn't get a reaction. And it kind of can help mitigate those attacks. One, you can just see if like, you know, do you have a lot of those type of attacks are coming? And it also can help like them reduce down, right? Because it's a way in which they just don't get a response, don't get a reaction, and they're like, they don't get that engagement. And it's kind of like, oh, nothing's really happening. I'm gonna go play with something that's a little more interesting and fun. Fun to them, not fun to you, because it's just a drain, right? So that's what the diversionary shield's for. That's what it helps. And it also helps to where if the attack is directed at you, you don't have it like kind of like the fireworks, so to speak, of like it hitting the shield and you're like, whoa, it's happening. It's kind of like going off and hitting someplace else, hitting the diversion, right? And it might take out the diversion, but that's fine. And then you don't have so it's kind of like it's another buffer. You got the strong shield, which you kind of see it coming down, going down, going down. But then the diversion shield, like there's a whole bunch of them, and it kind of like helps you just not experience that, helps divert, where they can do a really powerful attack, but they're only hitting a little like diversion orb that you sent out, right? Now if it hit your shield, that might take your shield down 50%, it might take your shield down 100%. But if it's your diversionary orb, yeah, it takes the orb out completely, but you got a bunch of them, right? You got a bunch of diversionaries, things like that. So they have to do big, massive attacks, drain their energy without actually affecting your shield or affecting you. So that's the power of the diversionary shield, and it's very simple to do. So first we're gonna kind of be relaxed, right? And you can put your shield up too, like, you know, say quad shield, activate in my highest good, and feel that go up, right? And then you can then do diversionary shield, activate in my highest good, and notice if you get a further lightning, right? If you feel it like, whoa, I felt another level of lightning, another level of ease, and that means that now there were active attacks coming that your quad shield was blocking, but now they're starting to get diverted over to the diversionary shields, right? So one thing we're going to do with the diversionary shield, the warp gate does it inherently, but if you find that like, wow, there's a lot of diversionary stuff happening, right? So you can put your shield down. So, you know, you can say all my shields down in my highest good, right? And then you can do like, you know, think of a location outside of you, right? And just kind of say, you know, diversionary shield, activate my highest good. You can think of a spot where you're going to put stuff, and then diversionary shield, activate my highest good. And almost like you're dropping them around you. Okay, diversionary shield, activate my highest good. Diversionary shield, activate my highest good. And notice, do you get a large level of lightning from that, then you know that's like, okay, there are a lot, like for whatever reason, it's kind of like I answered the spam call. A lot of things are like, hey, that's a fun person to mess with, right? You'll notice that like, oh, I'm going to do a lot of these diversionary shields. I'm going to do some extra of those, right? Because you inherently just say diversionary shield, activate my highest good. You're kind of going to get those placements of them put out. But if you consciously start putting them out like, okay, diversionary shield, activate my highest good. Diversionary shield, activate my highest good. And you might find locations that work better. It's like, wow, if I put them to my right, I really feel lightning. Then you know, for whatever reason, that when you have them over here to your right, which is probably your left because of the video, that works really good for whatever might be addressing you. But notice that the diversionary shields are great for them to where they just kind of, they tire out. Either because they're doing such a massive attack and it's just not really having an effect because they got like, you know, take all these ones out, which is very simple to create. He's like, diversionary shield, activate my highest good, boom. Now they got to do their whole process, use their power to attack it, right? And they're not using it for light. You know, they're not doing it for a positive thing. So it's not like they're going to get reinforcement of like, you know, source energy to do that kind of thing. So they're going to have a draining. So you can have these multiple diversionary shields out. It just means there's less that's going to be coming at you and possibly just to be like, it's no fun playing with them. We're not going to do it anymore. So that's the diversionary shield. But then also, I mean, put up the quad shields, you know, put up the, you know, quad shield, activate my highest good. Get that up there, right? And then put up your diversionary shield. Okay, diversionary shield, activate my highest good. And notice you start getting that lightning, like the lightning up of like, oh, I'm going to play with this diversionary shield. I happen to be one that's getting a lot of spam, spam attacks, you know, and there's no way you can start dealing with it and not freak out. I mean, you've been here this whole time with diversionary, you know, spam attacks happening. Now it just gives you more space, more of you to do your energy work, to move your life forward, because now you're getting a little break, a break that these diversionary shields are blocking. So hope you like that. We got another level for tomorrow. And until we talk again, have a blessed day or a blessed night.